Wow. Can you believe it? Right at the beginning of a live stream, it's a sneeze. That's my way of saying hello. Aloha, y'all. Thank you for tuning in live or by rebroadcast. And this, different from anything else I do on the air, different from my show and podcast, this is just me with you and this book that I wrote called The Art of Spiritual Leadership 40 Laws to Transform Your Life and the World. And you can get the book in all the usual book places: hardcover, softcover, Kindle version. You can also get it from Audible, me reading the book. So, what are we doing here if I already recorded the whole thing and it's on Audible? Well, one, no charge here. Two, it allows me a chance to connect with you. If you've got questions or comments, awesome. Type them in. Again, whether by rebroadcast or live, I will read, I will respond while, excuse me, while I am reading the book. I won't be reading your comments or questions. However, I will pause and look at them then. So please do fire away with whatever you got. Now, it's a series, not reading the whole book at one time. We are now up to, well, we're in chapter 1. It's kind of a long chapter. So I will pick up where we left off on page 48. Did I mention the other cool thing about doing it this way is that it allows me to share a little bit more, maybe some of the behind the scenes or the story of the story, or why some components came in. So I will be doing that periodically. And again, if you got thoughts, questions, requests around that, please let me know. Here we go. On page 48. Oh man, do I love this one. Spiritual Leadership Axiom 6. Life begins where our comfort zone ends. Yes, you know it. Let's get a deeper look, though. At 19 months old, Helen Keller developed a severe illness that left her deaf and blind. She went on to inspire millions as an author, activist, and lecturer. I tell you all that to help you fully appreciate the following words she wrote. Security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor do the children of men as a whole experience it. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. Life is a daring adventure or nothing. To keep our faces toward change and behave like free spirits in the presence of fate is strength and undefeatable. So powerful. Digging a little deeper, we can discern that life is both comfort and adventure. We are all at least two beings. One, part of us is human animal, survival oriented, ruled by fear and ever seeking safety and comfort. For this part, any change, even one that promises to move us out of the swamps of our lives into greener pastures, is dangerous. Some call it ego or lower self. It's important to know that this human animal part of ourself is always both part of us and working for us. Fighting it never works and only strengthens it. Two, the other part we might call the human spirit. It seeks adventure, transformation, and freedom. That part sneers at fear and jumps from the diving board, trapeze, or airplane. It often gets especially resolute right at New Year's, proclaiming, "From now on, I will." That part is also working for us. We are learning to bring these two distinct parts of us to collaborate and cooperate. Spiritual leadership axiom number 7, both and. We are all made up of human spirit and human animal. We need both parts and do well to honor both. After experiencing the extremes of privilege and asceticism, the Buddha found the middle path, and sometimes that's our best strategy too. The being who chose this book and might recommend it to friends and family was probably more compelled by the human spirit than by fear or habit. Extraordinary lives begin where our comfort zones end. That's part of why my younger, Braveheart self was both wanting it to be over and yet feeling curiously enlivened. Change is like that. It's usually uncomfortable, yet it is seldom actually dangerous. None of the exercises and experiments I offer you will involve handling poisonous snakes, leaping from bridges, or otherwise risking your life. Still, the human animal part of each of us will tend to encourage us toward the lazy river approach. Fine. Remember, you can switch anytime you want. Today, I'm in a deep diver mood. For this exercise, I'm going Buddha middle path snorkeler. You might like to lazy river your way through the entire book and then come back and do the exercises the second time you read. You'll definitely want to peruse them, noting that each level, from lazy river all the way through deep diver, builds upon the one before. These end of chapter gifts are so valuable that each is a downloadable PDF, which contains the chapter's spiritual leadership axioms and opportunities to grow in awareness, understanding, and knowledge. On the balloon ride of you rising to your spiritual leadership altitude potential, self knowledge is your most vital, valuable, and uplifting tool. Every hero's journey involves collecting lessons and earning wisdom, which become the gifts the hero shares with their community. You might like to read through them right now, then print them out and bring them for your next journaling session. You can't mess this up, so let's have some fun. Before we move on to chapter 2, where we'll get into some drugs, a guru, and the cow that changed my life, here's a review of what we've covered in this chapter. Chapter Gifts. To get even more out of this chapter, you can download the chapter gifts, which I'm continually updating and evolving here. www.theartofspiritualleadership.com/gifts1, the number 1. You might like to read through the below opportunities to grow now, then print them for your next journaling session. Spiritual leadership axioms in chapter 1. You are amazing. Experiential learning is true learning. Wise is as wise does. Action is essential. Environment counts. Who we surround ourselves with counts. Fear affixes us to that which hurts. Life begins where our comfort zone ends. Both and. Lazy river riders. Sit with or meditate upon that magic wand question. If you could shift something or some things in your life, if you could have it the way you want it, what would it be? Don't get bogged down in realism, not at this point. We'll get to practical aspects soon. Consider the spiritual leadership axioms. How and where do you see them in the world, in your life? Read the assignments for the snorkelers and deep divers, whether or not you choose to do these assignments. You'll get a lot of the benefit just from imagining the scenario. But don't tell those eager beaver snorkelers and divers. Snorkelers, in your journal, respond to the lazy river questions above. Make a list of 108 examples of how you are amazing. Make some of them small examples, i.e., I took the trash out last night. I'm alive. I survived school. I know how to speak at least one language, etc. If you lose steam before you get to 108, that's okay. Consider this a marathon and know that you can come back to the list later. Write two more lists, one of the wise things you have done and one of the foolish things you have done. Later, we'll learn about the both and distinction, but for now, simply practice observer style non judgment toward both lists. Make a list of what you have been tolerating. You don't need to do anything about any of the items. An essential component of rising above mediocrity and into the realm of transformation is the courage to be honest with ourselves. In yoga language, honesty is called satya. Respond in your journal to the following. The reason I picked this book up is ... What I really want is the results I would like to achieve through the experience of this book are deep divers. Of course, you'll do all of what those lazy river riders and snorkelers are doing, and do something today that stems from knowing you are amazing. Start something, finish something, communicate something. Share the bounty and glory of who you are with someone else in such a way that you light them up. Bring some joy to them. Take action on changing something you've been putting up with. Either change how you feel about it, perception, or change the situation. At least take a step in that direction. Do something that intentionally takes you out of your comfort zone today. A cold shower, a challenging conversation, asking someone to spend time with you. Small or large, you'll know you're on track if you feel more alive right after you do it. In your journal, respond to the following. I need to be, say, and do blank in order to get the results I listed. What I'm committing to doing or not doing is write me a letter, one where you start from the time travel perspective that you've completed the book and you've reaped all the benefits you wanted and more. Picture yourself closing the book, feeling a great sense of pride and satisfaction for what you've achieved, delighted and awed that indeed it worked as promised. Write to me from that future you perspective and tell me how you did it. What did you do or not do? How have you acted and thought differently than you in the past? Who did you involve or not involve? Tell me how to turn the page. Tell me how pleased you are and how you created such a brilliant success. You don't need to send it, though you can, and I'd be honored to read it. Daniel at theartofspiritualleadership.com. Tip of the forelock here to Benjamin Sander, from whom I borrowed this letter exercise. Inspired now? No need to wait. If you're feeling it, now's the time to act. Go to theartofspiritualleadership.com/presence for readers only inspired bonus material to discover your unique spiritual entrepreneur style or to schedule a complimentary strategy session with me. How are we doing on time? We're 15 minutes in. Shall we start the new chapter? I think better we pause there. The next chapter is The Crack. Not that crack. It's a powerful chapter. So, chapter 1 is a lot about setting the stage, about realizing what our potential is, about how you can use this book. And I hope you do. I Hope you benefit from it in whichever way you consume it. Thank you for tuning in today, again, live or by rebroadcast. I appreciate y'all. Please make your life a masterpiece. Aloha.